Hey everybody, how's it? Aloha. My name is Jeebs. I'm an old media composer. Well, not that old. And you are here at the Decomposer Lounge, the world, I like to call it. More of the pop culture and global culture and all kinds of different types of music from around the world, as you could see already. I'm trying to venture around. Now I'm in Japan, and I believe this is called J-pop. And I'm going to be doing a brand new release. I can't read what it is except for the fact that it's Pink Blood, so I don't know if that's the name of the band or the name of the song. But a friend of mine sent this to me. Well, actually a friend of my friend's daughter sent this to me because I'm not very familiar with this. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out. Let's do this. I guess this is going to be called Pink Blood. All right.
Pink blood, 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 pink blood,小説ももう十分読んだわ私の価値がわからないような人に大事にされてもまた自分のためにならないような努力はやめた方がいいわ何も以前なくても綺麗
Wow. This is wonderful arranging that's going on here. Now, I know the world has seen a big change in instrumentation, instruments, the use of instruments. Speaking of Japan, I don't have a lot of experience with music except for there was a time where I used to work with Kazu and Keiko Matsui at a recording studio called Studio Sound in the 80s. They used to come and do all their basic tracks and stuff. And then a friend of mine is the bass player in Hiroshima, and my father also wrote some string arrangements for them back in the day as well. I've always loved following how the artists, the musicians, the arrangers, producers, composers, engineers from Japan make their moves, through different generations. And even though this is what we might consider synth-based composition, except for the keyboard that is actually kind of mocking a maybe a contemporary Rhodes sound with a timed vibrato. Excuse me. One thing I have to really celebrate is the vocal arrangement, the melody, the composition, the writing, the harmonies of that opening phrasing. Now I could hear the words Pink Blood in it, but obviously I don't know what they're singing lyrically, but I never do anyhow. When I do these kind of breakdowns, I never listen to the words anyhow because I treat the vocalist as a musician. This is the instrument. What a beautiful voice. Absolutely stunning voice. And what I really am enjoying is the fact that melodically it is very moving. There is a lot of movement in that melody and stuff, where a lot of times lately in some of the other more popular Western style releases, some of the tracks are very monotone or very single notes or two notes in phrasing and stuff. I just love how this is swimming all the way through. This is absolutely beautiful. So let me go ahead. I love that phrasing, even though that there were just a few notes that she was saying. Da, 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 da. It's a repetitive phrase, so it does give it some stickiness in what we call the hook or the chorus, even though this is not that. This is like an underlying hook. This is something that we latch onto when we listen to. But something else I wanted to bring up is the rhythmical arrangements of some of the synth. It sounds like it's a muted guitar. I don't think it is, but it could be. I'm not sure. That's holding one pattern. And because of the nature of the basic track composition and the space that it has, it actually gives you the opportunity to utilize and write different kinds of percussive arrangements using tonal synth, mods and whatever the case is, that just exponentially add to the bounce of this track. This track's got that kind of sultry, kind of hey kind of vibe to it, and it's not pushed to the end. The only thing that I'm kind of listening for, and maybe because I don't know the artist, the album, the production style, I'm just kind of leaning into trying to find a bass or some kind of a very low kind of arrangement to it. But maybe in the decision they were saying, no, let's just keep it this way. It could be the story of the lyrics and the song structure and the composition, the decisions the producers, record companies, and the people make. But this is, I just, the subtleness of everything, yet, simple is not easy. And I'm not saying this is simple by any stretch of the imagination, meaning that it's less complicated than other songs, but there's a trick to getting it to sound right, to work right, and this song seems to have done it for me. All right, cool. Okay, I take that back. Forgive me. Yes, I did hear bass in there. Matter of fact, the bass that I heard, maybe it's because it's mixed in a sub pleb subtonal kind of a way, where with better speakers like room speakers that have a specialized bottom end, excuse me, can really pull out that bottom end. But I heard it in that last pass, and I loved how it was written. That's what I love about bass compositions. I don't care if it's upright, double bass, whatever. The bass has a duty to hold the soul in the bottom, if you would, of compositions. I don't care if it's quintet, quartet, full orchestral, bands, rock bands, synths. I don't care what it is. The bass has a very important role. And the beauty about the bass, if you're a composer, bass player, whatever, is that it does have this duty to follow chord changes and stuff, but you can actually move around it. And you have these little rhythmical flows that you can do at the end of measures, that kind of a vibe. And I love that. And it adds such a special little, lift in here. Oh, excuse me. Anyhow, choking a little coffee there. This is wonderful. I love doing this. My other channel is heavy metal and stuff, and I have, I think I have some baby metal there, and I have some other stuff. And I love rock and roll and metal, but I do love breaking into this style of music and being able to celebrate, composition and production and musicianship and, vocalists from around the world. So I'm going to continue on this journey. Thank you so much for hanging out. And yeah, that's it. All right. Aloha.